Tara Lynn with 5 Acres Honey Farm. I just ordered a solar cooker that I saw in a local, more of a regional magazine recently, and I watched a bunch of videos on it, and I'm really interested in how effective it is because I think it would be really nice to have kind of like a backup way to cook things in the event that the power goes out. We do have a generator, but if I happen to be here alone, I have a hard time pull starting it, so I want to make sure go into hurricane season that I've got a good way of cooking things. It also would be good to have in the event that in the winter, if the power does go out, our generator can't support heating our house. So we have a wood burning stove. Right now it's empty because we're upgrading our wood burning stove behind me. But what would be good is that we have an electric stove here, and that would take a lot of energy from the generator just to cook a meal. And I saw a few videos where folks have been cooking with this solar oven in the snow. As long as you've got the sun, it's going to heat up and cook. I'm gonna do a little unboxing. I don't plan on cooking today, I'm just doing the unboxing. So, the rest of this video will be for another day, but I'll just show you. I just slit the tape here, so I haven't even gone through the box, so you can get a good idea of what's in here. It's from the GoSun company, and this model is the GoSun Pro. I think it's the GoSun Pro Go. They have maybe not the best way of naming things, but as you can see, lots of great benefits here, and they have a lot of good information on their website. So it looks like there's a user manual here, so I will open that shortly. I know from watching videos of other folks setting theirs up that there's a very particular way of setting these solar cookers up. I ordered the package that comes with the silicone baking trays because I figured, one, they're already fit to the right size of the tube that, and this is the tube here, where you'll be, cooking the food. And I saw you can also use parchment paper, but I also saw in some videos that people had a tough time with like the juices from different meats, and like as vegetables were cooking, like any water runoff, like in any oils that they may have used, like butters and stuff, were like dripping out the sides. And when that's really hot, that's not fun. So I figured, trying to use whatever they've designed for the product specifically would be best. Looks like it comes with a cool little backpack. So that's nice. You can just pop it in there. So let me move this over. And this is it. Pretty nice and compact. I'll probably need another hand in a moment. And it does come with this little cleaner. So there's the tube inside here from what I saw in the videos, just like you would clean a straw, a little pipe cleaner kind of thing. And I'm going to put the camera down for a moment so I can get this open, and we'll take a look inside. Okay, so got the plastic off here, just unzipping this for the first time. And I saw in other videos that there is this kind of like protective sticker plastic on here, so I will need 2 hands for that as well. But as this is fully, hang on here, as it is fully unzippered, it's open, you will kind of open it up like a little book. And based on what I've learned so far, there's a way of positioning this dial with an angle of the sun, and that would be like the optimal angle for getting this to heat up and cook. And I cannot tell you how many videos and articles that I've read that really stress like not to preheat this. It does get hot very fast. So it's best, to fill it up in the shade. So when I am ready to cook, I'm, planning on having everything prepped and figuring out the right angle for it in advance so that I can just, put the food in and get it set up. The other thing I've noticed that I saw in some videos is that some people like to get it loaded like in the house and then go outside, and that just seems kind of messy and like things are leaking and everything. So I think just from what I've seen, you really have to manage your balance and make sure that you've got everything not overfilled and all of that. So I took the manual out of the plastic here, haven't looked at it yet. you know, pretty basic instructions. I know we're up to step 4 here, but it's insert food, cook food. And there is, I've seen a handy little cook time page depending on what type of sun. So like if I was gonna cook dinner in there tonight, you know, it says medium sun. I do have frozen, yeah, it's probably not gonna be, because like this just says seafood, but my seafood is frozen, so it'll probably take longer than an hour, and the sun is only going down right now. So I think I'm gonna skip trying it out for dinner tonight, and I'll try it another day. But I like this, you know, these little tips in here that are catching my eye about, you know, adding an aluminum foil, and like making sure you kind of grease your cookware before putting things in. I can only imagine how challenging it would be to clean that if things are getting like baked on there. So, you know, kind of like basic reminder. So if you're not a typical cook, some just basic things about things expanding when they're getting heated up. And, you know, I'm skipping pages here, but, you know, pretty good illustrations, and I like that the different steps here are fairly minimal. It's also explaining different ways to remove the tube, so that's pretty good. I'll dive into more of the maintenance and stuff, you know, like after I start really setting this up and getting an idea for, you know, how and where I'll be using it. Is there anything else? Yeah, this is pretty much what I saw in some videos about, you know, using that little sundial area. So overall, as just a simple unboxing, you know, didn't take long to open up. And I think the nice thing about this, once I get it prepped and I figure out, you know, how to get it oriented, this should be a nice quick way of cooking without having to use any electricity. So that'll be nice. Quick follow-up note. As a footnote, I just was reading, it says, pretty common sense, but it just totally slipped my mind. Don't place cold food inside a hot tube. So I obviously will not be able to put frozen salmon in here to cook it. So it definitely would need to be thawed. Okay, another reason that I think I saw folks in other videos, like, you know, getting their food like spilling out, is that they were, you know, like I mentioned, like setting this up inside and then bringing it outside. So when you get it at the right angle, which, you know, I'm just, you know, just have it on the regular stand right now, I'm not really tilting it in any direction, then you put the food in, because you want it to be, you know, you want your tray to be parallel to the ground. And I think what I was seeing a lot in videos where people were, you know, getting their food in and then getting it situated, and it was just getting really messy, and, you know, the food was dripping onto this glass tube. So definitely best to wait to get your food in. And it, you know, from what I've seen, like this metal is very hot, so definitely helps. I plan on just keeping like I'll just look at one of the local thrift shops and stuff, but I'll look for like a spare like oven mitt or something just to keep in here and store it away, so that there's always something with it. All right, it's the next day, and I've set up the little silicone trays with, I've got some onions and kale from the garden with leftover white beans, and then one of the girls' eggs in here, so kind of like a little kale scramble in one of the trays, and then the other I've got what I will hope to be apple crisps. So I just diced up some apple with coconut oil, brown sugar, white sugar, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, a little bit of flour, and some oats. It is overcast today, so I'm expecting it to take a little while, and I'm just gonna set this up in the cooker, and then I have a few meetings, so I'll be checking in on it in between, and we'll see how long it takes. One of my concerns, and I'm setting this up on the deck, as you can probably see, there's a little ant back there, is that there are ants around. So I might move this up onto one of the tables here, but I mean, the ants just go wherever they want to go. So this is now in, so I'm gonna go set a timer. I pretty much angled this in the direction of the sun, but it's pretty cloudy today, so just keeping it perpendicular as much as possible. Okay, it's still overcast out. It's been 3 hours. I've checked on it twice. It's definitely cooking, but it's taken it a while to really ramp up. I'll flip this around so you could take a look and see, you know, it's definitely getting steamy in there. And what I learned after I set this up is that generally the further end from the handle is going to cook faster. And I didn't realize that. I thought it was going to be, you know, actually I didn't really know what it was going to be. I wasn't expecting the, you know, that a particular end. Like I had read that there's uneven cooking, but I didn't realize there would be a pattern with that. So I had put the apple crisp on the far end because I figured I would take out my lunch first and then leave the dessert in for later. But there's a chance that maybe the dessert will be done earlier, but can't complain about that. Let's take a look. I've rotated this just slightly to keep following the sun since it's been out here a while, but you know, you can see like the eggs are definitely not cooked here. So that's been kind of disappointing. And I'm actually like, you know, at this point I'm just super hungry. So I've been snacking and stuff, so didn't really get my lunch. I'm kind of worried, like it's definitely cooked, you know, here near the center, it's getting cooked. You know, I'd be worried that it's just sitting out here and like not like, you know, harboring bad bacteria and stuff. Like, is it getting hot enough to kill bad bacteria? I don't know. The apple crisp looks and smells really good. I almost want to like rotate these and put the eggs further near the end, but with it being hot, I don't really want to touch it too much. So I'm just kind of keeping this as closed as possible and keeping it perpendicular to the sun. And it's still pretty much overhead. I guess this is a good angle for it. But yeah, just kind of being impatient and snacking, and my husband just went out to grab lunch, so I asked him to get me a little bit of something, so this might just end up being a snack later. All right, it took 4 hours in the overcast, and it literally is just starting to drizzle while I'm outside now. So this was the part that's at the far end, so it's I couldn't really tell if it was just steam collecting and then kind of dripping down, or if it's just not cooked there. But this is definitely all cooked on this side, and this apple crisp smells so, so good. So I'm going to dig in. All right, I'm gonna take a bite. Definitely cooked and definitely delicious. And it was nice to just set it up. And knowing how long it will take in the overcast light, I could set it up earlier in the morning and then it would be ready at lunchtime instead of it being kind of this midday snack. But this was really good. And as I try new recipes, I'll share them with you. And if you have some, let me know too.